Hello, and welcome to Friday. It's right about 11 o'clock in the morning, and we're recording a bit earlier for a good reason. Um, about half an hour ago, there was an earthquake in New Jersey, and we felt it over here. Like, a lot of people have been, like, family chats been popping off, being like, hey, was that an earthquake? I see a lot of social media popping off. Bunch of discords I'm in, people are chatting about it. It was pretty intense. Um, it was a 4.8, and I think that might be the most intense earthquake I've been in. Like, my phone's still going off about it. I've ever been in. Back when I was in California last year in late October, when I was hanging out at the airport right before my flight back to New York, there was an earthquake that was a 4.0 that was right that I was like literally right on top of. Um, it was just off the coast of the airport, 4.0, and like it was like maybe a quarter mile away into the ocean, and at the airport, you're in a terminal, you're suspended above the ground, and feeling all that shaking. It felt like a plane had hit the terminal, and everybody was like, "What was that?" And that was my like first real big earthquake. Prior to that, like a week and a half ago, I was in the offices of the client that I was at, and what was it? And it was like a 2 point something, and that was wild to experience as well. So I was like, oh, that's my first earthquake, and then like that, and then the airport happened, and then this happened, which was a lot more intense. It was like a 10 to 15 seconds, and like the bottles in my room were clanking around, and everything was shaking. It felt like it was house was on fire. It wasn't too bad. Like nothing. It was just very weird. I don't think anything really happened. Nothing like fell over or like like everything basically stayed. Like I have my vitamins that I took, and this is just like the bottle was still it was like tilted like this on my bed, and it didn't fall down at all. So like that shows you how much um like if I just like do this, nothing's happening to it. Um, yeah, like everything in my room looks fine. I checked around the house. Like I thought like a bulldozer or something was outside, like some heavy like truck or whatever. And I'm like looking outside. I'm like feeling this. I run downstairs, see if my dad's ask him like what's going on, and check to see if anything's happening outside the house, like other side of the house, and nothing. And then we're like, okay, that was weird. And then I see people chatting about it. It's like, why was things shaking? Everybody's like, oh, it's an earthquake. And then like we all kind of had that realization because uh, earthquakes are very uncommon here in the Northeast U.S. and being able to like experience that intensity of one is pretty shocking. Um, I think the scale goes like a 5 is 10 times more than a 4, which is 10 times more than a 3, and something like that. So it's like relatively minor up until like you get to like 5 and 6, and that's when like a lot of stuff happens. And while the shaking was pretty like, it, intense, it was just like kind of minor. It was pretty cool. Like I guess it's still quote unquote shaken up about it, haha, for lack of a better term. But yeah, that was a whole experience, and I'm glad to have felt such a thing, and it's nice to be like, oh yeah, I've definitely been in an earthquake now. I know what it feels like. I know what it is. But like your first instinct, because it happens so infrequently. Like the last big one that was like over a decade ago that we like actually felt, and even then it was just very minor. I was like, I remember being in a movie theater at the time and be like, is somebody kicking my chair? What is happening? Um, and then like there hasn't been anything really significant in the Northeast, so it's just like what to recognize, but you don't ever think it'll happen because it rarely happens. It's so infrequent. Like nothing was swinging around or anything. It was just like pretty minor stuff. So Luckily, everybody's okay. People are sounding off in the family chats and being like, "Yeah, we're all good." I look at the one of the chats. Um, my cousin. I'm listening to a New York radio station right now, and they're playing Good Vibrations. God, I love New York. Anyway, I think that's where I'm gonna call it here. Keep things relatively short, and while there's stuff going on today, it's nothing's really gonna top this. So, thank you all for watching. I hope to see you tomorrow, and until then.